YouTube. This is the Learn Cantonese Fast channel again. Today I'm going to talk about intonation modifiers. So as you have already known from my previous episodes, that in Cantonese, because of the 6 tones, it is very difficult to change the tones of any word in a sentence. So one way to solve this problem is to add intonation modifiers towards the end of sentences. And there are actually 3 functions for intonation modifiers. The first function is by using intonation modifiers you can express your feelings. And the second function is that if you have a statement, you can change it into a question by adding appropriate intonation modifiers. And then the third function is that you can actually change the meaning of a sentence by adding intonation modifiers. So let me give you an example so that you can see the power of intonation modifiers. And then after this episode, I'll have several episodes just to explain the most common intonation modifiers used in Cantonese. So hopefully you can be a little bit patient, okay? But then before I do that, let me use an example to show the power of intonation modifiers. So in this example, I only need 2 words. 咁樣 金咁樣樣金咁咁樣咁樣咁樣咁樣 okay 咁樣 means like this 咁 means this or as this or like this, and then 樣 means appearance, right? 咁樣 is like this. Okay, so how do I change the meaning of 咁樣? Right, so first of all, let me use an intonation modifier 嘅嘅 second tone, okay? 咁樣嘅咁樣嘅咁樣嘅 okay? So let me give an example. So for example, you want to say, wow, why does Hong Kong change to become like this now? Right? So wow, how do you say wow? Wow in Cantonese we have wah, wah, w-a, wah, 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 wah. Why?乜is actually this is 做乜, right? But then we omit the word 做. I just use the word 乜 is okay. So 乜 means why. 香港 Hong Kong 香港 is Hong Kong 香港乜香港 now 依家 is now 變 is change, right? 乜香港依家變成 is to become, or change to become is 變成, right? 成 is established, right? 變成 means change to become, right? Like this 咁樣嘅so the entire sentence reads 哇乜香港依家變成咁樣嘅 so what does it mean? So here 嘅 actually has the meaning of, well, I see this, but then to me this is a surprise, right? So change to become like this is a surprise to me, right? So that's why I use the word 嘅. Right? So 哇乜香港依家變成咁樣嘅 it means well, it's a surprise. Why does it change to be like this? It's a surprise to me. And then the second meaning can be developed using a 嘅 it looks like the same, right? So it looks like well, they're actually the same word, but then one of them has tone 2, the other one has tone 3, right? 咁樣嘅 versus 咁樣嘅, right? So what is the meaning of 咁樣嘅? Right, let me use an example. Right, the process that the happening of the incident went through was like this. So in other words, I try to explain why something happened. I try to explain why something happened. Right, so in this case, the Cantonese sentence should be 事情 is the matter. Right, 事情 matter. 發生 happen. 事情 is the matter. 發生 is the happening. 嘅 is apostrophe s. Right? 事情發生嘅 right? 經過 the process through which something happened. 經過 is the process through which something happens. Right? The 事情 is the matter. Happen apostrophe s. The process 係 is being. being 咁樣like this. Right? So in other words, you try to explain why something happened. Right? And then you start with this sentence, and then after this, you continue on to explain why it happens and how it happens. Okay? So 事情發生嘅經過係咁樣嘅。Right? So 嘅 here denotes that you're trying to explain the process through which something happened. Right? And then after this sentence, the explanation or the description will follow. Right? So let me repeat it again. Okay? 事情is the matter. 事情發生 is happen. 發生嘅 apostrophe s. 經過 is the process through which. 係 being 係咁樣 like this 嘅。Okay? So 事情發生嘅經過係咁樣嘅。And then I can also produce a third meaning using the same two words 咁樣。Okay? So for example, I add the intonation modifier 啦 to the end. 咁樣啦，咁樣啦。Okay? So what do I mean by 咁樣啦? Okay? So for example, how about this? Why don't we eat something first? Right, so how about this? Why don't we eat something first? Okay, so what do you mean by how do I say in Cantonese? How about this? Well, how about this is 咁樣啦, right? 咁樣啦. So in other words, let me suggest this. Let me suggest this. 咁樣啦, 咁樣 is like this. 啦 denotes your suggestion. Right? So I'm suggesting something like this. Right? 不如 why don't 不如 why don't 我哋 we 食 eat 嘢 something 先 first 啦 again it's a suggestion. Okay? So 啦 actually means something like I'm suggesting something that I've just said. Right? 咁樣啦 like this 不如我哋去食嘢先啦 What do you mean? 不如我哋食嘢先啦 Why don't we eat something first? Right? So for example, your wife is not happy with seeing a movie. So what do you say? Well, you say, well, why? How about this? Let us just eat something first and then decide. Okay? So it's exactly like this. Right? 咁樣啦，不如我哋食嘢先啦。Okay? And then still another meaning that I can produce using 咁樣 Okay? So for example here I have 咁樣喎，咁樣喎。So what's the meaning of 咁樣喎? Okay, so for example, think like this. If he doesn't go this time, we'll be in trouble or we'll be in bad shape. Right? So you're asking the other person to think like the following. Right? So how do you say it in Cantonese? 咁樣喎，如果今次佢唔去，我哋就慘啦。咁樣喎 is asking people to think about something like this. 咁樣喎，咁樣喎。So how do you say if 如果如果今次 this time 佢 he 唔去 not go. If 如果今次 this time 佢 he not go 唔去。如果今次佢唔去，我哋we 就慘啦，will be in bad shape or will be in trouble. 慘 is really bad, will be really bad. Okay? 話咁樣喎 so you're suggesting something like this. Okay? 如果今次if this time 佢唔去 he doesn't go 我哋 we 就慘啦 will be in bad shape. Okay? So 咁樣喎means you're suggesting something like this. And then still another meaning that I can produce 咁樣咁樣meaning that it should be like this. 咁樣係咁樣Okay? So for example, this way the way that Ming taught you was not right. It should be like this. So in other words, you're trying to do a demonstration. And you are pointing out that the other person is not teaching you. The other person is not teaching you right. Okay. So how do you say it in Cantonese? 明仔 is the subject. 明仔教 teach or taught 教你 taught you 你你 is you 嘅方法the way Ming's way 嘅 is apostrophe s right 明仔教你嘅方法即係Ming's method 方法 is method 明仔teach 你 you apostrophe s method 方法方法 is method 唔啱 is not right 啱 is right 唔啱 and not right 㗎唔啱㗎so in other words the method is not right okay so not right is the inherent attribute of明仔's method okay but I'll talk about 㗎later on okay and then 應該should be 係being 應該係 should 係 being 咁樣 like this or 㗎 okay 應該係咁樣㗎 okay so in other words you're pointing out the attribute of something okay so and your method is actually right and the other person is actually wrong okay so the method 明仔's method is wrong so inherently is wrong 唔啱 your method should be right 咁樣 like this is a demonstration of your method 咁樣㗎啦咁樣㗎啦 so what do you mean 咁樣㗎啦let me give you an example why are they so rude so the person A is saying why are they so rude and then you will say they are always like this so how do you say in Cantonese so why 點解佢哋they 佢哋咁so 冇禮貌 rude 禮貌 is polite 冇禮貌not polite or 禮貌 is actually politeness 冇禮貌 having no politeness that means they're rude 點解佢哋咁冇禮貌嘅嘅 is a question okay so I'm not going to talk about 嘅 okay so in my future episodes I'll talk more about other intonation modifiers so you'll be replying 啲人 those actually I omitted 嗰you should say 嗰啲人 but then instead I can omit the word 嗰嗰 means that or in this case those people 嗰啲人人 is people 啲人 you can omit 嗰 just say 啲人啲人 being 係咁樣 like that like this 㗎啦啲人係咁樣㗎啦 so in other words you're pointing out that well those people have certain attributes and being impolite is part of the characteristics of those people okay so it's obvious in other words you're pointing out that well it's well known I mean those people are like that okay so 啲人係 being 咁樣 like that 㗎啦 okay so you're suggesting that those people have been like that and everyone knows it or you can use 㗎啦 okay 咁樣㗎啦 okay so I'm using exactly the same two sentences okay so why are they so rude but then you're saying well they are always like that but it's implying that you may not be too surprised okay and in other words and then also here because of the lower tone or lower pitch you're actually suggesting that well let's forget about this I mean they are like that you know so don't be too concerned so you have the meaning of don't be too concerned okay so how do you say it 啲人係咁㗎啦啲人係咁㗎啦 instead of 啲人係咁㗎啦 you say 啲人係咁㗎啦 in any case I'm running out of time so I'll leave the last one for you to be for you as an exercise so if you have time please visit my website www.freehongkong.net see you later bye